Hey, hey, happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Daily Dope. Presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So, tonight is Monday. I am going to be sharing a how to play and a review of Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. Just making sure I wasn't sitting here going, I'm going to do a review of this. So this is from Gray Fox Games. It is a zombie game. It is a fun game. I played the original as well. So I am going to do a bit of a how to play as well as review it in just a few moments. Do want to mention there's no news tonight. So a lot of stuff's been going on, and I will get to that in just a moment. Do want to mention that tonight is Monday, August 26th, 2019. This is episode 351 of the Daily Dope. This is a live stream, so if this is the first time you've actually checked out one of the videos, keep in mind this is a very casual show. I usually share tabletop gaming news, although not tonight. And I usually do a game unboxing, game review. Maybe I do an RPG book page through or review that book as well. So anyway, do want to mention chat is available on YouTube because this is a live stream. And I see William McGinnis as well as Solera X1 are both in chat already for the show. So, man, it is humid here in the Duct Tape Studios tonight. And it is not that warm out. It's 70s, but it's been raining all day. So I'm like, kind of feels down here in the Duct Tape Studios tonight. Anyway, as I like to say, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you like them, by all means, please subscribe. If you do, ring that little bell, because not only will that notify you when a new video is uploaded, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live within about 5 minutes or so. And of course, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com, where there's loads of other stuff. There are 600 reviews. There are thousands upon thousands of articles. I think it's over 8,000 articles. So check that out as well. And of course, be sure to tell a friend. In fact, tell 2 friends. So anyway, let me grab a quick sip here. So I've been messing around with the lighting in the Duct Tape Studio. So hopefully the lighting is pretty good tonight. Like I said, I'm just kind of sweaty down here. This is bleh. I was going to say, because getting all this, I can tell there's all this glare like coming on. It's like, bleh. Anyway, so I've been playing around with the lighting, and hopefully this is going to be probably about as good as the lighting will get here on the show. I don't know. I don't really know much else I can pull off as far as improving the lighting, but hopefully last week's videos were much sharper and much clearer and everything, because I've got new capture devices, busted out a different camera for my overhead shots, and kind of switched the other camera to shooting me. So hopefully everything is working out and working out well. All right, as I mentioned, no tabletop gaming news tonight, outside of how sorry I was to hear about the passing of Flying Buffalo Games' own Rick Loomis. Yes, he passed away Friday. I heard about that today. And it was a bummer, because you see Rick over at all the, at Gen Con every year. He always had a booth there. And I remember back when I lived in Arizona, that's when I started the Gaming Gang. I lived out in, at that point in time, I lived in Mesa. I lived in Mesa, Arizona when I started the Gaming Gang. And Flying Buffalo Games was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I was always tempted just to try to reach out and see about doing an interview with Rick. And I never did. I don't know why I didn't. And unfortunately, I will not have the chance. So, but yes, sorry to hear Rick Loomis had passed away from cancer on Friday. I know it was a few months ago that he had actually revealed that he was ill, but everything sounded pretty good. But I guess did not work out that way. So that really sucks. That really does suck. So if you're a fan of role-playing games, Tunnels and Trolls is pretty much what put Flying Buffalo on the map. In fact, Rick Loomis was the person who coined the phrase role-playing game. So that's how long that Rick Loomis was in the industry. And then if you like board games and things like that, which of course you have to like one of the two, otherwise what are you watching this show for? Definitely Nuclear War is a favorite of ours. It is a big favorite of ours as far as it's a card game with a spinner, and that's from like the 60s, but they still make it, and it is pretty funny. It's kind of a funny game. All right, so I do want to mention, still got the contest rolling. Yes, the contest is still going on. There are two contests, actually. First off, I do have the PDF Pathfinder giveaway. So it's for 2nd edition Pathfinder, the core book, the Bestiary, as well as the Fall of Plaguestone, which is a standalone adventure. I believe, last I looked, we are 2 subscribers away from unlocking the first prize pack. So I think there's going to be absolutely no problem whatsoever giving away at least one of those. And the cool thing is, all you got to do is be a subscriber, and that is it. It doesn't matter where you live, because they are PDFs that I will be sending out. So I will announce the winner on that September 6th, because that contest runs through September 5th. Then the other contest I've got is for, if you watch the show, if you follow the site, you know that my board game of the year last year was Everdell. It was my favorite board game of the year. So I've got some goodies as far as a giveaway. This is for Twitter followers. It is, I have to hit 5,100 Twitter followers by September 8th. And if I do, I will be giving out a wooden copy of the Everdell Evertree. So this is pretty sweet. I've got one myself. I've assembled it. It's very nice. And on top of that, I will also be including the Pearlbrook expansion to Everdell. This is actually the for a second I was like, is that upside down? I'm like, forgot the title's down on the bottom. This is also the collector's edition too. So pretty cool. Sorry about the glare. I'm sure it was probably a lot of glare that was popping up when I was showing off that box. So we've got that. Then that is basically just be a follower on Twitter. I have a tweet that I keep sending out every day that all you have to do is find it on the feed, on the Gaming Gang feed, and retweet it. And all you got to do is retweet that and say why you really like Everdell. Because, of course, why would you want the tree and the expansion if you don't have the game or any interest in getting the game, the core game, that is? So that's all you got to do. And you also have to live in the US or Canada to get into the running, because, of course, I'm on the hook for the shipping on that. Alrighty, so what's cooking on the show for the rest of this week, maybe a little bit into next week? I did make a change for my Wargame Wednesday coverage, and I'll explain that in a sec. So on tomorrow's show, I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Anomaly from Starling Games. Yes, I am going to be reviewing Anomaly. It is a one versus many, or actually I should say like 1 versus 3 game where you're actually, one player is the anomaly and the other players are science students on some space station or trying to defeat it. So this should be kind of interesting. That's on tomorrow's show. Now, originally on Wednesday, I was going to review Richard III, The War of the Roses from Columbia Games. I'm actually going to shoot a standalone video review of this because we are actually going to unbox and take a first look at Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea from GMT Games. This just arrived. I want to say this showed up Friday afternoon. So this is it's a low complexity game. I think it's for up to 6 players. And definitely want to check this out because I am a big fan of Ancient Civilizations. In fact, I have been playing tons of Roll Through the Ages on PC lately. I don't know what got into me. And I lose that game constantly. Although I have won a little bit more recently. Then on Thursday's show, I will be paging through, taking a first look at both the player's guide for City of Mist, as well as the Master of Ceremonies Toolkit. I have heard very, very good things about City of Mist. These are actually from Modifius Entertainment. Friday's show, I will be reviewing Imhotep the Duel from Cosmos Games. If you caught Friday's show, I reviewed Roll for Adventure and really enjoyed it, really liked it quite a lot. So this is a two-player version of Imhotep. So that's on Friday's show. And then on next Monday's show, I will be reviewing Valparaiso from my pals over at Stronghold Games. Yes, Stephen Bonacore and the Stronghold Games team. So that'll be next Monday's show. So lots of goodness packed up. I've got some smaller games that I'm trying to shoot some standalone videos for. But things have been crazy. This weekend, I played a lot of games, which was very cool because I've got plenty of reviews that still need to go out. And on yesterday afternoon, I actually spent pretty much the entire day teaching my nephew Cameron how to paint miniatures. We were tackling some of the basics. He's got the Fallout Wasteland Warfare that if you saw, I did a review of and things like that. I actually gave that to Cameron because he's just a Fallout nut. So we started painting those. So, and of course, it was cool. It was very cool. I was very surprised how much he was enjoying himself because painting miniatures is a very relaxing, quiet sort of hobby. That's why I had mentioned to him, normally you're going to throw on a movie that you've seen a billion times, just kind of like in the background while you're painting. So we had a good time. I had a lot of fun. Really, really busy weekend. So, which is cool. I like weekends like that. So one last thing before we jump into the how to play and the review of Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded is, of course, if you follow the show, if you visit the website, you already know the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are pretty much not-for-profit endeavors. So, that being said, if you like the show, the channel, I don't know, the site, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Yes, Lil Bub's Big Fund does provide grant monies to special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. These are animals that might be deaf, they might be blind, they might have mobility issues, they may require daily medications, or maybe they're just long in the tooth like yours truly. Regardless, these animals still deserve to find loving homes, and that is what Lil Bub's Big Fund is all about. Plus, 100% of all monies that are brought into the fund are awarded as grants. That's very, very important to mention. So if you do happen to make a small donation, and if you would like, feel free to let me know. Shoot me an email. It's down there in the bottom corner. It's Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com. Let me know, and if you would like, I'm more than happy to give you a shout out on the following show. So Casey Board Gamers has arrived in chat too. Good deal. Good to see you. So William McGinnis mentions, I just got Paladin in the mail from Kickstarter. Looks terrific. Yes, it is. It is similar. It's based on Pendragon, which is what William's pointing out, and I'm like, yes, I know that. Isn't it? If memory serves me correctly, I believe that is in the Age of Charlemagne, as opposed to King Arthur. I want to say that Paladin is actually the Age of Charlemagne. I might be wrong, so William, let me know if I'm remembering that correctly or not. I'm probably wrong. You know how that goes. So tonight I'm going to share a bit of a how to play as well as a review of Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded from Gray Fox Games. It's designed by Richard Lanius with artwork provided by Ryan James. Game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Plays in 20 to 40 minutes, usually. And it does carry an MSRP of $49.99. This was a Gen Con release. So this, I do believe that this is in stores already. I am not positive, because I know Reavers of Midgard was, I think that was September. I'm not positive. Regardless, and William mentions, yes, I am correct about that role-playing game. Cool deal. I usually remember things fairly well. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to move over to the other camera, which I have, of course, made some changes to the lighting here as well. This I'm still working on a little bit. Simply because a little too much shadow. But then again, this is actually a pretty big cup. So this is my good old Game of Thrones cup that I used to always be drinking from. So, Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded, and I'm just going to refer to it as Run, Fight, or Die. Simply because I'm sure I'm going to keep forgetting Reloaded. Simply because I played the original edition of this quite a bit. I never reviewed it because it wasn't my copy of the game. And so that kind of threw a wrench in those plans, simply because I'm not going to steal other people's photography to do like a written review, and if I don't have the copy of the game, how am I going to shoot video, right? So anyway, this is the second edition. This is the updated edition of the game, and it's designed by Richard Lanius. It's a fun game. It's a zombie game, but you know what? I'm sure people out there are thinking, oh, another zombie game, Jeff? Geez, what's next? You're going to tell us, you're going to talk about some new Battle of the Bulge game? It's not like most zombie games. It is a push your luck dice chucking game, and it's a lot of fun, and it plays quick, and it is not like a big gross out kind of game either. So I know a lot of zombie games tend to kind of go for a gross out factor. This really does not. So we're going to tour around a little bit. Of course, every player is going to have a setup like this. You're going to have their zombie board, then they're going to have their character board. So this is going to be in front of them. Show off, real quick, I'll show the rules off. Rules are very nicely done, pretty simple. Although, I have to laugh. You know what? I'm going to put my glasses on. Put on the old reading specs. Hey, Bones has popped in. Good to see you, Bones. So, these zombie boards, even in the examples in the book, are wrong. See, this says Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. It's supposed to be Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. Now, I was given some stickers to replace those, to change those out, which is fine. I just hadn't done it simply because I've played this game. I know what's going on. I know what zone this is really. I'm not looking at it going, oh, wait, that's a zone 1, not zone 3. So, yeah, so I'm not really concerned about that whatsoever. But there are stickers, and I do understand that I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe they caught the problem before the print run was over. So I think some of these will be fixed and be correct. But I had to laugh because it's even in the book, too. It's in the rule book, too. They're showing the wrong zones. But it's, it's a mistake. It happens. These things slip through. It really affects the gameplay absolutely zero if you just realize that that's zone 1, that's zone 3, and you can slap stickers on if it's that big a deal. Anyway, the rule book, lots of illustrations, very, very easy to understand the game. I can teach somebody how to play this in 10 minutes. I am going to take a little bit longer simply because we had a whole show. I didn't do any tabletop gaming news today, so one of the cool things that's in this is there's a solo variant, but more importantly, there's actually a solitaire campaign, which that's really cool. I was like, wow, it's like a 4-mission campaign, and you actually set things up a little differently. You play a little differently as well. So it's pretty wild. So very, very cool. All right. So, like I said, rules are nicely presented. No big head scratchers or anything like that. So easy peasy. So Casey Board Gamer says, it's not like the companies ask you what genre they should put their games in. Though zombie infatuation is a mystery to me, but even I have a few zombie games. I kind of look at it the same way. To me, it's like, I like zombie games. I mean, I like The Walking Dead. Funny enough, the Gaming Gang actually premiered the month before The Walking Dead premiered. So I'm wondering who's going to last longer. My money's on me, but hopefully, I don't know. But I can see where people are getting, where it's like, geez, another zombie game? Come on. But then you could also look at it like, what, another pirate game? So, I mean, there's loads of pirate games. All right, so we've got the zombie boards, and they are dual-sided. So I thought that was kind of cool. There's really no difference between the two, but they are dual-sided. So it's just a little extra mile there. So I'm going to tour around the table a little bit here, and then I will zoom in to give you better looks at stuff. So we've got leadership tokens, which you will earn leadership tokens as you play. Leadership points are basically victory points. That's how you win. So that's what you're looking at for there. These are little damage markers, little wound markers that you can use. There are 60 zombie minis in the game, half and half. Half are male, half are female. We'll get a little closer look at those in just a second. Each of the players are going to get a game player aid card. Oh, here we go. Pinky's coming down. Pinky, enough. It's become like a nightly deal. Pinky, what's the matter? Huh? Come on, kid. You're silly. It's funny. Honestly, she thinks I'm talking to her throughout this whole thing. That's why she's like, oh, Jeff's talking to me. What's going on? Anyway, so each of the players will also get a player aid card. We'll take a look at that in a sec. We've got a deck for loot. We've got a deck for the mutant zombie, who's one of the big bads. We have a token for the mutant zombie. I don't know if Gray Fox Games is going to offer like a miniature of the mutant zombie. They did for the first edition of Run, Fight, or Die. So I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Then these are also mutant zombie tokens here, which if you flip these over, you'll see like these leadership tokens have a number. That's the number of victory points these are worth. That's why I actually have this in a opaque bowl, because that way, if when you're drawing them, you should actually like hold it up and then take it without looking at it and not showing it to anybody else. You want to do the same thing with these hits as well, because these represent victory points that you get for this token, the leadership points. So you might want to use an opaque container for that as well. I didn't. It's not that big a deal. So we've got follower cards, which the followers are probably one of my favorite parts of this game, especially how some are worth more victory points because they're a big pain in the ass. But some are not worth many victory points because they're very helpful. So I like that aspect. Then we have locations. So we can explore different locations because we have different ways to actually win the game. And one of them is to actually find the town line. I don't know why. If the town line is where like the National Guard are or something, because that's going to be a disaster. Because whenever the National Guard shows up in a zombie movie, that ain't going to end it. So anyway, we got the locations, and I actually just have these reference cards, the player aid cards down here, just out to show you. And then we have the different characters. We have 5 different characters that we can choose from. We've got a little bit of a kind of flavor text about the character, and then we've got the character card just like so. So what'll happen is you're going to actually start off the game, and everybody's going to get 2 zombies in zone 1. Remember, it's zone 1, not zone 3. You're going to 3 in zone 2, and you're going to get 4 in zone 3. So, those are the Zeds that we have to face off with to start off the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to kind of focus. Yay, that's a little too far. There we go. That should be good. All right, so like I said, I'm still working on some of the lighting here at the table. So I apologize for a little bit of the glare. This does have a lot of sheen to it. This does have a lot of gloss on this finish to these boards, though. So each of the players is going to have their own character. There are 5 characters to choose from: the army vet, the prom queen, the coach, the businessman, and the ex-cop. I honestly wish there were maybe a couple more characters, because this is for up to 4 players, and we have started to see a lot more companies including more variety with the characters available. Now, these character boards are really nice and sturdy. So, yes, I understand it would have added a little bit of cost, but honestly, I would have liked to have seen just a couple more of the characters to choose from. So everybody's going to have their own kind of special abilities, and they've got special combos with the dice that you roll. So each of the characters are a little bit different as far as what they can do. They've got kind of like a normal ability. They've got a stronger ability, and then they have like the ultra ability that if you get these dice rolls, then you're able to pull these off. So give you an example with the army vet here. He has to roll 2 gunshots, or if he rolls the 3 gunshots, 2 zombies, it's calm under pressure. We have close quarters combat, and then we've got suppressing fire. So these are special things that this character can do. Now, as an example, let's take a look at the prom queen. So if the prom queen gets this here, then we get, it's 2 zombie faces in a run. She's athletic. She can move 2 zombies from zone 1 to zone 3. Popular. She gets to draw 2 followers and choose 1 to keep. Star on the field. Move all zombies from zone 1 to zone 3 and draw a follower. So some of the character abilities, some are a little better than others, to be very honest with you, in my opinion. So, anyway, so we get, we'll stick with the prom queen just as an example. So we also have 6 dice. Got these big chunky dice, and they are cut dice too. So they're not just painted on or stickers or anything like that. So nice dice, nicely done. So let's show off the different sides. So for an example, zoom in, and I'm gonna push this. So as an example here, this is Explore. So an Explore die is going to be used with locations. Now, with the locations, we flip this over, and it says, "Welcome to the Old Bridge." I like the artwork on these cards too. They kind of have a 50s sort of horror movie vibe to them. So I thought that's pretty cool. So if you have one Explore, you're going to have to you choose the location card, but you have to do the bad result. This is the bad result up top. If you get 2, then you actually you do the bad and then the good result. If you were to get 3, then you just play the good result. So those are the Explore dice. Using Explore dice are going to be the only way for you to go through the locations deck to find the town-county line, which is one of the ways that we win. Another way we win is to kill the mutant zombie, which I will get to in just a little bit. So that's Explore. That is the zombie face. So zombie faces basically lock that die. So that die gets locked in just like that. Zombie faces aren't always bad because you'll normally have, as an example, let's look at the prom queen. The prom queen has zombie faces here to utilize her special ability. Well, all 3 special abilities. So zombie dice are bad in a certain way, but then they can be good also, depending on the character that you've got. And just about all of them have the zombie faces as part of their special abilities. So once you roll that, you're locked into that. And at the end of your turn, for each zombie face, you will have extra zombies showing up in zone 3. Then we've got the bat. The bat allows you to kill 1 zombie in zone 1. So you get to knock off 1 zombie from zone 1. Then we've got the gun. So that's ranged. So that allows you to knock off a zombie from any one of the 3 zones. We've also got Run, which allows us to push a zombie back a further zone. And then we've got Search, which is how we go and we get the loot. Actually, the bat kills off 2 zombies in zone 1, not 1. The gunfire does kill just 1 of those. Anyway, so we show here we've got the game phases. So first you got your action phase. You get to roll your dice up to 3 times and resolve their effects. Everybody's going to also start off with a loot card in their inventory. So we've got an axe. It says discard to kill 2 zombies in zone 1. So that is the prom queen's special loot that she starts off with. So let's go ahead and let's mess around. Let's kind of now, as far as the locations with the town-county line, blah, jeez. With the town-county line, it is shuffled into the last 6 cards of this little deck. So let's start off. Let's say, okay, we're gonna start off. We're gonna roll our 6 dice. What do we got? What have we got? with the prom queen here. So we've got a zombie face, so we know we're going to keep that. Got a couple of runs. We've got an explorer, we've got a search, and we've got gunfire. So I think I'll hang on to that. So we get a bat. We get two searches. And we get an explorer. I still have one die that I can roll. One die left. And I get a run. So this is what I have available to me. Now, right here, our little card here is going to show us what exactly does each of these do. So first off, the bat's going to kill 2 zombies in zone 1. So boom, got rid of them. That was the bat. The gun allows me to kill a zombie in any zone. I'm going to take a zombie out from zone 3 up top. Run, I can move a zombie back a zone. So I'm going to push a zombie back from 2 to 3. Or, actually, you know what? I'm going to push them out from 3 to nowhere. When you're playing, if you're only playing 2 players, it's recommended that for when you push a zombie off of your zone, that your zone 3, that you actually put it in your other opponent. Well, it's not really opponent. It's not. You're not cooperative, but the game is the end game is triggered by one of the characters dying. So, but you really can't mess with each other. You can mess with each other a little more in the original Run, Fight, or Die than in Reloaded. But it is recommended if you want to play a little nastier version of the game, or if you're playing with 2 players, that when you push a zombie off of zone 3, that you do put them onto the zone 3 of your fellow player. Or if you're playing more than one opponent, then the player, I want to say, on your right. So that will be the run. I've got the gun, I've got the run. So with the search, with 2, I get to draw a follower. So we get draw a follower, and I get the brave firefighter. Let me help. But you'll see it shows a negative. So that negative means that this is a negative ability. It's a negative sort of effect the brave firefighter is going to have. It's going to be worth 4 leadership points if I survive and this character, this follower, is able to stay with me. They also have 3 hits, which when you take damage, you can either assign the damage to yourself, or you can assign it to the followers. So here it says, at the end of your advanced zombies phase, choose an opponent to kill a zombie in their zone 3. Add a zombie to your zone 3. So effectively what it is, the brave firefighter is trying to be too helpful. They're too helpful. So they're actually bringing in more zombies to your side. Well, there's my follower. So the follower is going to kind of go with my character as well. So let me move this down a little bit, because then I'm going to show you what you're going to do when we get to the advanced zombie phase. So we've rolled our dice, we've assigned our dice, we've done what we needed to do. So we were able to get rid of quite a few zombies on our zombie board. Now we do the mutant phase. There's the mutant zombie, and the mutant zombie has to be awoken. And the mutant zombie's awoken if you ever have excuse me, if you ever have 5 zombie faces, the mutant zombie will awake. Now you might be thinking, wow, it's pretty tough to get 5 zombie faces. Well, keep in mind, if you're pushing your luck to try to set off like your ultra special ability, you can get 5 zombie faces. So once that happens, we get the mutant zombie, and remember I showed you we've got these tokens? So we've got these tokens. These tokens, we're going to add the number of players plus 1. So let's say we're playing a 2-player game, right? So it now has 3 hit points. This, oh, and I'm sorry, I should have pointed out, we're supposed to draw, if we awaken the mutant zombie, we're supposed to take a leadership counter. So I'll do that. I'll take a leadership token. So, the mutant zombie is pretty bad, because not only are you going to have to take time out to kill them, and you can only remove these tokens by gunfire. Only way you can get rid of it. What will also happen is every turn you're going to flip over a mutant card, and it's going to have some effect. And they're all negative. They're all bad. None of them are good. So as an example here, it says lead the horde. All players advance 2 zombies, 1 zone on their board, may advance the same zombie twice. So as an example here, although we would have just awoken the mutant zombie, so we wouldn't draw a card the first turn. That's after the zombie is awake. On the mutant zombie's awake on subsequent turns, we're gonna flip over the card. But to kind of give you an idea what would have happened is we could either go 1-2 with this one here, which we probably don't want this here, because when they move, they're gonna move into the prom queen. So I would probably do something like move these. So we would have these 5. So that's an example of like the mutant zombie. If you devote hits with gunfire, for each hit, you remove one of these tokens. You're going to flip it over secretly. You're not going to show everybody else. You're going to, that's how many leadership points that hit is worth to you. Now, there's some that just say 0. So you got to keep in mind, you might get zilch out of it too. If you're able to kill the mutant zombie, then you don't flip the next card. You won't flip a mutant card. So for an example, when I go into the mutant phase, when I assign my dice and I had 1 left, and if I assign the gunfire, I should say, to this, he's dead before we got to the mutant phase. So I don't draw any cards again. So once the mutant zombie is killed, that also triggers the end of the game. So 3 ways the game can end, and that is by killing the mutant zombie, by finding the town-county line card, or if one of the player's characters get killed. So I'm going to push this up a little bit more, and I'm going to zoom out just a touch so I can kind of show you what would be going on here. Okay. So once we finish up the mutant phase, now we're going to go to the advanced zombie phase. So what we end up doing is all the zombies move up a zone. So there we go. So we had those 5 zombies. Those 5 Zeds were in zone 2. Now they're into zone 1. Then we're going to take 3 zombies plus the number that we had of zombie faces, and those get added to zone 3. So you're always going to be generating new zombies at the end of your turn. So it'll get to the point where you've got like loads and loads of these zombies out there. It's pretty crazy. So that is in effect playing the game. If you get to, let's say this was the way our action phase ended, right? There's no mutant out there. We've got our brave firefighter follower. Put him down. Put him next here so you can see it better. So let's say we got to this point and it was the advanced zombie phase. So for every zombie that ends up on your character board, that's going to be 1 hit. Now you can assign hits to your followers as well. So what I would maybe do is do something like this. Take 3 hits to the prom queen and 2 to the firefighter, because then I could keep the firefighter, although because of the negative ability, should have been a new zombie as well going up there from that follower. So there'd be 5. So it could be very easy to be overwhelmed and for your character to get snuffed out. So when you get to the end of the game, you're going to score your points. So you're going to score your points, your leadership points, from your leadership tokens, any of your mutant zombie tokens from doing damage to the mutant zombies. So let's say Prom Queen did a couple of these. Let's say we won. Let's say we won the game just like this. So you're going to take those victory points there. You're going to get a point for every health point that's left on your character. So far we've got 7. And then the brave firefighter, let's say the brave firefighter survived, gives us another 4. So that gives us 11. So we would have 11 points. Easy peasy. I mean, really, really simple to play. Show off some of the followers. I'll show off some of the locations. So we've got some different infected characters, which there weren't as many in the original Run, Fight, or Die. In fact, I could have swore there was maybe 1 or 2, I remember. There are quite a few in here. I think there's 4, if I remember right. So we've got Infected Sandra. So just to kind of tell you what these little icons mean, if it's a minus, obviously that means it's a negative trait. It's a negative ability. If it's got a skull on it, that's what happens when this character dies. So Infected Sandra, if she dies, she becomes a zombie. Boom, right in zone 1. Spoiled Brat. When entering play, discard one of your loot cards at random. So she's worth 2 victory points, only has 1 health. Angry Waitress. Once per turn, she can kill a zombie in zone 1. She's helpful. So she's only worth 1 victory point and only has 1 health. Screaming Cheerleader. This is what I always like. Then, Screaming Cheerleader is pretty funny. Is she's worth 3 victory points and she adds 2 zombies to zone 2 every turn because she's screaming all the time. Local coward, devoted nurse, tough guy, kills 2 zombies in any zone. Pretty sweet. The heroic dog. So lots of different stuff here. Then we got different locations. Like I said, the locations artwork I like because it's got sort of a 50s science fiction sort of horror movie vibe to it. The high ground, the hospital, the police station, the playground. The mutant wants to play. Awaken the mutant zombie. That's the bad result. There you go. See, I was sitting here shuffling these up. So the town line got shuffled up. So here you go. There's the town line card. You've made it out. Game end. So that's the town line, the dead end alley, which I joked around when I did the unboxing. I'm like, oh, so is that where the dead end kids hang out? The graveyard. So just to kind of give you an idea of the different locations. Different loot. Quite a bit of it. Molotov cocktail, axe, chainsaw, Book of the Dead. It's like the Necronomicon. Binoculars, Molotov cocktail, medical supplies. So there's a few duplicates in here. Town map, shotgun, axe, shotgun. Wow, all the shotguns are like stuck together there. So kind of give you an idea of the different loot. As far as the mutant cards, I'm not going to really show those off, simply because if you actually do pick up the game, you want to have some surprises. So that is how you play Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. That's pretty much all the components and everything. As I mentioned, you can play solitaire. I have not played it solitaire. Amazingly enough, I have not played it solitaire. We've had enough people where we could play multiple players in the games. But the other thing too is that there's the solitaire campaign, which I thought was kind of cool. You're going to take 4 adventures, and I assume when I was looking through the rules, it's pretty much you're going to play the game 4 times, and then you're going to move along through. You're going to from your house. In fact, you got these right here. So you're going from your house to the courthouse. So the courthouse is your goal. It's where you're trying to get. So pretty cool. All right, so that is it. So what are my final thoughts and my review score? Well, gotta point out, I really liked Run Fight or Die in the first place. So does Cameron and a bunch of his friends. Well, I should say my nephew Cameron and his friend Cameron are both big fans. Their friend Hunter, he enjoyed it. We played the original quite a few times. I think this new edition with Reloaded is a little better. It kind of zips along a little quicker than the original. There's less messing with the other players, which I didn't mind in the original game because I like a little take that with most of my games. I could see where people really would kind of get tired of that. So most of that is gone outside of the, well, yes, you get to add your zombie to somebody else's zone 3 if you move them off of your zone 3, if you're playing nasty. Otherwise, you're really not doing anything to affect the other players, which is fine. It's not a cooperative game. It's just you're all survivors, and just if a survivor gets killed, then that simply triggers the end of the game. That's all. So component quality is really nice. I like the artwork. It's not like super gross out artwork, but it's got a little bit of a cartoon feel to it. So it's more spooky than like scary or gross out. So it's for ages 10 and up. I can easily see 10, 11-year-old kids playing this game. So there's that. Component quality is nice. Artwork is nice. Game zips along really well. Do want to point out the cards feel a little thin, sort of. I don't know. Maybe it's my imagination, but they just felt a little thin just by touch. As far as the miniatures, the minis are cool. There's one male, one female. Yeah, granted, same sculpt. For, you got 2 sculpts, one female, one male. But the minis are cool. They stand out with the orange and the blue. I seem to recall the first game, I think they were gray, so they didn't have a lot of visual pop. So anyway, I really like the game. I like dice checking games, pushing your luck games. I like, the roll and keep kind of games. So if you enjoy those kind of games, then you're definitely going to enjoy Run Fight or Die Reloaded. Do want to mention it is really, really heavily influenced by luck, because you're rolling dice, obviously enough. So you got all the dice you're rolling, a lot of luck involved there. You've got the loot cards, you've got the location cards, you've got the follower cards. There's all different ways for one player to be getting like all the good cards and the good rolls, and somebody else getting just really garbage. Terrible dice rolling, just crappy followers getting, lousy loot. It can happen, but it's a game that's just, mitigated by luck. So if you are somebody who cannot stand any sort of like variance or luck in your games, if you're like a Euro gamer and you're like, no, I want the puzzle aspect, I don't want any kind of luck involved. No, Run Fight or Die Reloaded is not going to be for you, just because the luck factor is going to irritate the hell out of you. That said, I don't think there's a lot of people out there who are that down on having luck in their games. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, like I said, I really like Run Fight or Die Reloaded. So I'm going to give it a very, very solid 9.2 out of 10. Really don't have any negatives to throw in there outside of, like I said, the cards kind of felt thin, but I felt a lot thinner cards in my life. And also, It could be a drawback. All the luck involved. Me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. All right, so there you have it. As I mentioned on tomorrow's show, I am going to be unboxing and taking a first look at Anomaly from Starling Game. As I like to point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos and you'll like them on the channel, be sure to subscribe. And don't forget, ring that little bell, because it'll tell you when a new video goes up or when the stream goes live. So it is Monday. Hopefully the lighting's pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to work on the lights for the table there a little bit. But yeah, see, look at this. Holy, it's like really humid down here. This is bizarre. Very, very bizarre. I'm not used to it being like kind of cool and super humid. Ugh. Anywho, I got the week off to a running start. So those of you who joined me in chat tonight, thank you very much for popping in, keeping me company. Always appreciated. I do see there were some live folks who did not jump in chat. Why not? Come on, we're pretty friendly. And of course, I appreciate anybody who watches the show. It doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I appreciate it tremendously. So everybody enjoy your Monday night. I will be back tomorrow. So until then, happy trails. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.